then went to bed, and I was thinking to myself, well, what am I going to do? This are my kids, you know, my kids. I haven't got my kids, I haven't got my wife, I haven't got my kids. I'm alone, totally alone here, on my own. But then it came to the following weekend, and I thought to myself, I can't do this, you know. I've got to have my children back. So I went that weekend, travelled by train all the way back to Walthamstow. I discovered that Eileen had Vivian and Pat had Deborah, and I said I thought I didn't want them split up. They said, yeah, but it's easier this way for Eileen to look after Vivian and Pat to look after Deb. And I said, well, you know, I don't think it's very good. So it was about a week they had them, and I brought them back to Blackpool with me, and I used to I used to sort of try and be mum and dad at the same time. So I would say have the dinner on time. On Sundays I'd do a proper Sunday roast, which was nice, made a nice change. But I'd go to work, of course I'd do all this, so I had to fit in the house cleaning, the hoovering, the washing, the ironing. I got fed up with ironing the girls' clothes, so gradually, bit by bit, I got drip dry clothes for them, so I had to cut down on the ironing. Never did like ironing, right? And I used to have to wash Debbie's nappies out every night, clean them, sterilise them, hang them on the line. In fact, I used to be putting the washing on the line, Debbie's nappies and everything, about midnight. I was actually, by the time I did that, I'd be hanging them on. I often remember seeing the moon out there. And so, you know, I used to get about 2 to 4 hours sleep a night. And that went right up until, well, for about a year. I set about selling the house, and Dorothy had borrowed £100 from her father for the deposit on the house when we bought the house. Now, sadly, I lost about £500 on the house because the prices had gone down by that time, and I had to get rid of it quick. And then on top of that, Dad Story said to me, well, if you're going back to London again, he said, I'd appreciate if I got my £100 back. £50, yeah. So I did. I gave him that, and then he left to skip, absolutely skip. Went back to Walthamstow, tried to get a council house in Walthamstow. It didn't happen. I went to the job centre because I said that I want a job and a house at the same time. Otherwise, if I'd have got a job, I would never have got a house. If I'd have got a house, I could have got a job, but one or the other. And I went to the job centre one day, and they said to me, well, they said, as a matter of fact, they said, we've got an opening for a gardener in Stevenage. Didn't you used to live there? So I said, yes, I did. They said, well, there's a first-class gardener's job going there. So I said, well, yeah, I'd love that. By this time, it was Stevenage Corporation. The council had gone, and it was a corporation which was building the new town up. And I went for an interview, and they said, you're the guy that did all these drawings in the Gardener's Chronicle and did all these. So I said, yeah, we'd be proud to have you. So they were great, like, you know. And they said, but it'll be a few weeks, obviously, before you get a job. Well, while I was in Walthamstow, they knew me in Walthamstow too, so I got a weekly column writing about things in the Walthamstow Independent, which helped with a little bit with money. Not much, but it helped. I think it was about 50 quid an article I got for that, which was something. And eventually I stayed with my mother during that period, and Viv and Deb slept on the sofa, and I on 2 chairs. I slept on my mum's sofa, and my mum slept, of course, on her own bed. And we come back to Walthamstow, to Stevenage, from Walthamstow, and I got a house in the Ondel in Stevenage, and that is where the Magic Oak Tree family started, but we'll talk more about that later. Thank you. So, continuing with the interviews with the family, this is Bill Pilgrim.
Right.
Right, one of the really original members of the family back in 1968, very early on, weren't you?
It was very early.
And can you remember, I know we were talking about this, can you remember when you came in?
Yeah.
So it was very early, soon after Dodge and Bill and George.
It was a long time ago, but I think it was a party. I think it probably was Dodger, and Pete used to have loads of parties in them days, so I can't remember which party it was.
Yeah, and I had the two girls, didn't I?
Yeah, you had the two girls, they were very young.
They used to love it all, didn't
Yeah,
they? Had lots of
yeah.
uncles and aunties.
Yeah, and Pete was like the leader. He I think we were all looking for something in them days, and
Yeah.
Pete you know, made us welcome, and it was like a club, you know, for us. And
Yeah.
we all liked the same music, and we liked doing the same sort of dancing and
That's right, yeah.
larking around, having fun, didn't we?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was,
Yeah, and then if I remember rightly, you then bought your brothers,
yeah,
Joe, bless him.
Steve,
and Steve,
yeah,
and
Ian, and Cliff Jackson.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think Chris Notley then.
Chris,
up
yeah,
in.
you
Chris.
introduced loads of people
Yeah,
actually
Chris, yeah.
from that.
Yeah, so.
And of course, at that time there was Janice Jackson was there, Georgina Haig was back in the early days, weren't they?
Yeah.
But all right, tell me, Bill, when I opened the door for you, what did you think when you saw me? Be honest.
Well, that day, I think we all looked similar the same. We all had long hair, Afghan coats,
yeah.
and yeah. But I think it was good because you were like, I suppose, a bit like a spiritualist person. I thought when I first met you.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a guru, like.
Yeah. I think what I'd heard and people have told me and talked about you, that's what how you come over as a bit of a guru. and when I went in there, it was an happy place. I think, you know, I think we're all searching for something, direction, and I think it was nice to, in them days, have someone like me who liked dressing with long hair, and because a lot of the time we used to get a lot of stick. You know, our parents really didn't like us having long hair, and you know, it was, oh, you're going to get into drugs, and you're going to get into trouble. Yeah.
But you see, the thing is that this is what people didn't realise, that a lot of these guys that were thinking of experimenting with drugs, I remember one of my sisters once said, oh yeah, but you used to have drug parties. Well, that was far from the truth, wasn't it, Bill? Because I had the two girls to think of.
But we never had, we had the beer, we never...
Had the beer,
I mean, at that time, I must admit, I never took drugs.
No.
You know, and I'd never smoked. After that, I did. But yeah, we never did it in your house.
No, but then I'd tell these guys, well, there's other things. I used to say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
You don't need that stuff. I used to say, because there's beauty in art and music that you used to dance, express yourself that way. You don't have to take all these chemicals
you
to take things.
Doing your drawing, and
that's right. And drawing, you were there at the beginning of the wall, weren't you?
Doing the wall, yeah.
If I remember rightly, you were all dancing around to some music. He used to like doing the Sabre-Dance.
Yeah, Sabre-Dance.
And he was like a little Pixie, wasn't he?
That was my favourite.
Yeah, that's right. And Phil Umdrell was there, and he was freaking out. And I said to Phil, stop there. And he went like that. And I got a felt tip pen, and I drew
him on the wall.
Yeah. And then that's how the wall started, with Phil in the middle.
Yeah.
And there's a picture, we'll put a picture with this, and
then after a few months the wall was covered,
That's right,
yeah.
And then I kept adding bits to it.
It was like a storybook.
It was a storybook, yes. There's a story.
If you had a story, you'd put a little piece on the wall.
That's right, yeah.
Well, I can remember the wall, now I can see the wall, and even though it's been so long, I can see the picture of the wall,
Yeah, well, I've still got it on my Facebook page, so it's on there. But I used to also tell you lot about like the damage we're doing to the environment, didn't I? I used to say about I used to say that we're cutting all the greenery away and that's starving us as oxygen. I said it's like a girl with green hair and we're cutting her hair away and making her cry. And I drew it on the wall.
That's probably where I got my gardening from now, because I love my garden. Probably
Really?
Yeah, because I wasn't into gardening. I'm into gardening now.
One night, when after we'd finished cleaning the house, myself, Roger Moores, George and Pixie Phil, we put some records on, and I just thought we'd enjoy ourselves, because the next day the girls were going to come back and stay with me after we'd got all the house cleaned up. And so we thought we'd just have a little relaxation, and Pixie Phil was freaking out to the music, the hippie music we were playing at the time. I think it was Ultimate Spinach, and suddenly I said to him, "Stop there," and he just stopped in midair where he was dancing, and I started drawing a picture of him on a huge wall we had in the lounge. And if you look in the middle, right in the middle of the picture here of the wall, you'll see Pixie Phil with his blue flares with the yellow flashes in them, because we used to make the flares ourselves. You couldn't buy them in the shops, we made them ourselves. And the red top and the big hairstyle there, that is Pixie Phil dancing, and that was the very first thing I drew on the wall. And the rest of it followed, actually. I originally just sketched it in felt tip pens, and then myself, with the help of a lot of the members of the family, we coloured it all in. Just above him to the right there, you'll see me in my silk red caftan with the long hair and the beard there, and underneath that past-smear codeine, which of course would had just been published. And then if you look above that, you'll see the sun coming up, which is actually a greeny blue sun, which is a little bit strange sort of thing. And then you've got the cloud coming over to try and hide the sunshine away. And then if you go over to the left there, the first next figure you see, the man holding his hand up against him, in front of him, is Pixie Phil, which was George Nash. George, Elfin George was George Nash. His real name was Alan Nash. And there, the other one with the divide in his beard, that is Roger Moores, known in the family at that time as Dodger, but you don't like being called that now. Now, underneath them, going slightly towards Pixie Phil again, you'll see the rainbow in the midnight sky, which means that even when things seem dark and gloomy, there's always a rainbow to cheer things up, if you look for it. If you're positive in thinking, I used to tell the family this, then that would brighten the darkness up for you, a rainbow in the midnight sky, as I called it. Down from that, you'll see that there's a little blue cloud, which is a blue cloud, you know, feeling blue under a cloud and all that sort of thing. And some of the family have actually put their signatures in there. And then right beneath that is the pigeon in the hand is peace, which is in the song, the pigeon is in the hand is peace, fly on forever, never cease. In other words, the dove of peace. And in the heart there is the first girl that came into the family, which was Kimmy Musprat. And there she is. But originally she had blonde hair, and then when she changed the colour, I changed that to black. And down to the left of her is the man with blindfolds over his curtains over his eyes, because there's none so blind as those that will not see. He's the person that won't see the truth. He's got his own ideas and he never sees the truth. And next to him is the weeping willow, and that's weeping because he can't see the truth. Underneath that is a little doggy, which is Muttley, which was the family name of Dennis Pipe. And then you see to the left of that is the pixies dancing on the hill, and when they're dancing they're higher still, you can see that. And then over right beneath that, on the left again, is the jackadaktyle, the flying bat, which can come and tear you to pieces if you let it. And and that's mentioned in The Tree and the Wall, the song too. And above that is the horse, which is the flying horse, which has the rider. And if you can see the rider on the back of the flying horse, then you're in trouble. So you try to keep your mind clear and not see the rider. And you can see that we've put a cross around his neck. I think Kaz did that just to try and tame the flying horse. Then come right across from Pixie Phil again, and you see right behind him is the all-seeing eye, because everything we do is seen by somebody. It's getting worse actually with Big Brother and so on, and you'll see the music of the flowers and everything nice about that. Beneath him again on the left, under the black lightning, and the black lightning, incidentally, black lightning in the midnight, black lightning in the sunlit night, that is that even in the most nice times you could expect, black lightning might strike at any time. You've got to be ready for that, just in case, so that you can turn the darkness back into the rainbow again. So there's a lot of philosophy here. Down underneath, towards the right there, underneath Pixie Phil, is the couple making love in an oyster shell. For love is beautiful, boys and girls, and it's a treasure. You know, making love is a treasure, so it's like oysters, and a gift from nature, if you wish. And then moving right along under Pixie Phil, you'll see the girl with green hair. Now, a lot of the family used to say to me, "Oh, what is she? What, a green girl with green hair? What's that all about?" And I used to say, "Well, she represents Mother Nature." And they used to say, "Well, she's got a tear in her eye. Why is she crying?" And I said, "Well, she's crying because people are cutting her green hair away, and there's not much she can do about it." But the thing is that she cries like that because people are cutting her hair away, destroying nature, in other words. But the thing is that later on, I put special paint on there so that it glowed in the dark, fluorescent paint. And when it all glowed in the dark, then the girl with green hair's eyes opened, her tears disappeared, and she smiled, because at night nobody was destroying her, and so she was able to relax for a little while. And above that is the blackjack, which is the death card, but we don't really want to know all about that, do we? And above that is the horse being blown by the wind of change, and all this is all mentioned in the book, in the song "The Tree and the Wall." So that's really what the wall's all about. It was all philosophy, and very often a lot of the family used to ask me all about it. And somewhere above there in the purple is it says, it looks like tea, and someone said to me once, "Oh, there's tea on the wall." And I said, "What, someone spilt tea?" No, it's spilt on the wall. We don't know how that happened. It's because everybody did their little bit in filling it in and painting it, and I don't know. Another theory was that the spraying bit was done by Ted Cook, and the theory was that he put his name there, Ted, but he never admitted to that. So there you go. So that really is what the wall is all about. I hope you like it. Okay?
That's how the Magic Oak Tree family.
Okay. That's how the Magic Oak Tree
family
began.
That's how it all started, as I said. But that was the wall, and how the family started with the original three, and then Kimmy later on. But soon after that, remember, they'd helped me clean the house up, ready for me to get the children back from my sisters, and I brought them back with me. I came by train, and they were really happy because we had our new house, a nice big garden out to the back there. But of course things were difficult because I had virtually no money coming in. Shirley Williams had got me some little allowances, which did help things along, but even so we were far from being well off. And so in actual fact we had difficulty with feeding them and so on,
But at the same time, because the original three had spread the words about this old hippie guru, because that's the way they saw me, an old 30-year-old man, and living at this place, and they could come round and talk to him and play their music and so on. They were all teenagers. I was 30, so I was this wise old guru according to them. But I used to help them with their problems. In fact, Dodger once said to me, well, he said, look, Pete, he said, you've got so many problems of your own, you know, bringing up the kids and not having enough money to live on and so on. He said, why do you bother with these little kids who have nothing better to think about than, well, you know, how can they get over losing their boyfriend or girlfriend? So I said, it's as simple as this, Roger. I said, to them, that is the most important thing that's happened in their life, the most tragic thing. I said, what's happened to me, yes, it's tragic, it's difficult, but that is important thing to them, and I feel that I should treat it that way and give them the benefit of my advice. But then, you see, in return, these kids took it upon themselves to help me. They used to help with washing up and things like that as well, and cleaning the house, especially the girls did a lot of that, and make tea and so on. But unbeknown to me, as one of the original family members pointed out recently, and we'll show you that video later, they had a secret code amongst themselves. They say, if you go round to Uncle Pete's, then you should take something with you, whether it be some tea bags, a pint of milk, some butter, bread, or even coal or wood, because you see, it got to the point, it was so bad at one point, that the old dining room chairs, I used to have to break them up and burn them on the fire just to keep us warm. So I was burning furniture, and I couldn't afford to replace it, of course, so people sat on the floor all the time. But hey, that's the way it was. But I did my best to bring the children up, and had to take Vivian to school. Deb, I managed to get into a nursery school, which was lucky for me, so I could do little odd jobs outside and bring extra money in. But then, on the other hand, you know, it got to the point that, say for example, if they had their dinner, and if they left something on their plate, I would eat. If they didn't, I didn't eat. As simple as that. I went down from 9 stone to 6 stone. And there's a photograph that have been on here where it shows you how thin I was. But there you go, we did that. But I was determined to carry on with my campaign to get a one-parent family allowance. And so I continued writing to Shirley Williams, and it did take another 4 years from that to actually get it passed into law. And then fully, it took until 1990 in the end to get the full thing going through, by which time I'd got married again. So I never received it. But then, what the good thing is that 2 of my daughters, having got divorced or been left with children on their own, they managed to get the family allowance, one parent family allowance. And some friends of mine did too, that were left with, perhaps their wives walked out and the men wanted to bring the children up like I did. Got the benefit of that, and then from that sprung the gingerbread group. And also, I used to find that Deborah, if I was down the town centre with the kids, Deborah was so young, I couldn't just let her go into the toilet, so sometimes I'd tuck her under my arm, go into the gents and into a cubicle, let her go to the toilet there, or change her nappy or whatever, or hang about outside a woman's toilet, already asked a woman to take her in, which then made me look like a pervert because I was hanging around women's toilets. And I suggested the idea of having baby changing rooms where parents of either sex could take their children and change their nappies or get the toilet or anything like that. And the first one happened in Stevenage Town Centre, so I set that about too. They've got that going, the one parent family allowance and the baby changing rooms all started here in Stevenage, thanks to me and Shirley Williams. But anyway, I carried on with that, and here is the actual letters I got from Shirley Williams in sequence, so that you could follow the campaign. And if you have trouble reading the letters, you can always pause the video and have a good read of them. First of all, one of them I think I've made notes on as well, so ignore that. But have a read of that, and then we'll get the views of some original members of the MOTF. So, there you go, have a good read. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another original member of the family, Ray Shepheard, right? And how did we first meet, Ray? Can you remember?
Someone brought me to your house.
And do you remember who it was?
I can't remember who it was.
And that was when I lived at the Ogden.
Yeah, on the well, some called it the Oundle, didn't they?
Yeah, the
Oundle.
Ogden. Don't know.
His mate, he was playing the guitar when I walked in.
That's right. Yeah.
The answer was, you can't come in unless you bring some coal or some firewood. In the
Is that what you were told?
Yeah.
Well, it's true, because I had the girls, didn't I? I didn't have any money. And that is true.
And if you want to stay there, you've got to keep the fire going and keep warm.
That's right. That's absolutely true. Yeah. See, not many people realise that these guys kept me going. I mean, you know, a lot of, especially some members of my family, oh, you have all these layouts around here and that, and they were decent.
They weren't allowed in if they were taking drugs for starters, because we'd throw them out.
We throw them out. If they bought drugs in, they got thrown out.
Yeah, thrown
That's
out.
very true.
Straight away.
Yeah.
If you want to take your drugs, take them outside. Don't
That's
put
right.
them in the house.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, that the drugs rule, yes, because I had two girls, so I wouldn't let anyone bring any drugs in the house. But as far as the coal or tea or a bit of food or whatever was concerned, these guys made that rule themselves, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't me saying, well, you can't come in, because I welcomed anybody, and that's...
I don't think your door's ever locked. The key was jammed in it.
Yeah, that's right. Put the key out.
out.
Yeah, that's right. It was, wasn't it?
Jammed in the door, yeah.
Do
Because
you
it was
know-
a class as an open house,
You know, I'd
basically.
forgotten all about that. Right, so this is Terry Chapman, another original member of the family, the MOTF. And do you remember how we first met, Phil? Because I can't. Was it through Phil?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
So-
yeah, it would have been that. Because I would have known it otherwise, because it was like Jeff Kane, wasn't it? Or
Jeff
like
Kane, that's right. So that
Phil.
would have been through John Ridley,
That's
Jeff
it.
Kane, Frenchy.
I actually met John Midley at college. That's where I first met John.
Ah,
Yeah,
so
I think-
maybe it was John.
No, I'm sure it might have been Phil. I'm sure it was Phil because, I don't know really, it's a sort of, but I know John, I met him at what's it called, Stevenage College.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think that was 69, 70, something like that.
yeah.
And he was living round,
The Ondel.
that's it would have been, yeah.
That's
That's
at
it,
the
yeah.
Ondel where we had the big wall, and didn't we? The painted wall. Remember? I've still got a picture of that.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, Keith Simmons did a double picture of that and joined them together.
Yeah,
the
it was
whole
John.
thing.
That's right, it
Remember
was
that?
John, yeah.
And we
Definitely,
had,
yeah.
and the thing is, we started a little band called Oak Tree International, and we played with Oak Tree by Little Princess. We just recently recorded them with Kim Crace. So yeah, but I'd like to get them all done. But perhaps one day we'll get it all done.
He'll probably be
With
doing it on your gig that night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he said that. He said one of these days. He said, "If you're at one of our gigs, I'm going to call you up and do Oak Tree." Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, and we had musicians there, but then Eddie Quince. Do you remember Eddie Quince?
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went and nicked a guitar from London.
Me, nicked guitars from everyone, I think.
I still remember when he come up and took the Boats Line House at the first gig. I can't remember the name of the band he was playing with now.
Yeah.
It was actually an SG, and someone said that you put a deposit down, sign the HP papers,
Yeah.
give a wrong address.
That's right, yeah. Or sometimes he'd put Ed Quinn instead of Quince.
Yeah.
And so and if they did catch him, they'd say, oh, I must have made a mistake. So, yeah, I know, he got a load of amplifier. Anyway, we started a second, heavier band called Archimedes. It was a good guitarist.
Archimedes.
Remember Archimedes?
Yeah.
And there was me singing, writing the songs, Eddie, Steve Doan
Steve
on
Dunn.
bass,
Yeah,
and
he's
guess
still
who our drummer was? Phil Franklin, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him.
He used to live not far from. Well, I'll tell you, it was somebody near Shepheard he lived.
Yeah.
Because I remember again, he was a bit of a tea leaf as well. Because he nicked a flute from school.
Didn't know that.
Because he was into Jeff Rowe Toll. So
Yes, he
decided,
was. He
decided
was,
to nick the school's flute.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did it, he got
Yeah.
caught as well.
My God.
Yeah,
But he was a
strange
bit of a
old-
musical genius, wasn't he? He
Yeah, a bit
played all
strange
sorts of
old boy.
instruments.
What happened to
He
him?
was odd. And he put himself up, I believe, as an MP for Watford.
Did he?
Yeah. And because he was a very intelligent man, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Odd looking man, but he was
Yeah.
very intelligent. And he was, so what he was doing as an MP, I've no idea anyway.
Probably succeeded.
As a matter of fact, he put himself up for it, and I think he lost. He didn't actually get there. And then I suddenly got a call from the Comet saying, you know Steve Doan? I said, yeah. He said, do you know what's happened to him? I hadn't seen him for years. He just disappeared. And like he was MP for this, and he said he disappeared.
It's strange,
And nobody knows whatever happened. Because I remember in the comment it said, where's Doan gone? You know, where's Dunn gone, whatever.
Yeah, it's really strange, that, isn't
And
it?
he disappeared, yeah. But anyway, going on, I say Phil was our drummer, and so he must have introduced you, because he played for several bands, didn't he? He played for us. Was he playing with you at that time? That was, I'm talking of 68.
No, because I'll tell you, I think
About 1968.
I know he used to play with Jeff Kane, and there was another lad who used to come round with us. Never see him. I can't think of his name now. But we used
I
to.
know he's friends with Rob Warner because he used to look out at Rob
Wagner.
Warner's flat. He rolled up, yeah.
That's what he called it.
Saw him a few weeks ago in the Red Line, the old Red Line. And, God, I haven't seen him for years. But Phil told me that he used to look out, because I used to use the telephone box where Rob lived, Walnut.
Yeah.
And Phil and him used to look out and say, God, that guy's cool, isn't he? An old hippie, like, because I was old to you lot, wasn't I? I was in my 30s, for God's
Lose
sake.
you.
Right? And I had this cape and things. I used to wear all this outland. Used to wear outland.
Don't- Yeah, to say, I remember I met Phil. I think it was. Do you know what? I've got a funny feeling it was Bowes Line with Jeff Kane and stuff.
Right,
Jeff's
well,
not
at the
here.
Lions Den.
Huh?
At the Lions Den.
Yeah, downstairs.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the
And I
band used to
remember
rehearse.
said, I'll play guitar. I said, oh yeah, we practice at Shepheard Barry Pavilion, which is gone now.
Yeah.
And I remember, I see Phil drum, I don't know. I wanted to come and have a jam. I remember I got had a dirty great big speaker cabinet made out of television speakers, and it was
Oh.
foggy that night, and I put it on a push
You
chair.
made it yourself?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
right.
So you've always done
It
this, haven't
sounded
you?
bloody horrible, but I put it in a push chair, it was thick fog.
Yeah.
Don't know what this is all about. Who are you anyway?
Oh, Pete, don't you
Oh, right.
remember me? And you, Dad?
Oh, that's right. I remember reading an article in a newspaper
Oh,
about some daft old sod that was laying in
No.
bed in Yondell.
In bed?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was too bloody lazy to get up. I think that's what it was. And
What sort of a bloke was this?
Curiosity killed the cat. I had to go round and see him and
Oh,
see
right.
what he was up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
When was this?
long time ago. I'm surprised the bloke's still alive, actually.
Oh, thanks,
Because he weren't that young then. Well, not compared
Well, it
to
was
me anyway.
1968.
Yeah, I know it was.
Actually.
If I said that, I'd give me age one.
Oh yeah, all right. Ignore that, viewers. But you met this bloke before that, didn't you?
Yeah, he still owes me sixpence, actually.
Sixpence.
Yeah. Yeah, we pushed his bloody Reliant Robin down the...
No, it wasn't. It was a Reliant Regal.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
One up from
We
the
pushed,
Robin.
we pushed his posh Reliant Robin down Longfields to get it going because he was too tight to buy a new battery, I think.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but once it started, he just drove off. He didn't even say thank you.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
isn't
it was.
My God. Yeah. So fast forward.
I've been looking for him ever since.
So 1968, you read this article in the local paper, yeah?
Yeah, about you laying in bed doing nothing.
Always was a lazy son.
Well, I thought you were just a copycat, to be quite honest.
Oh.
On John Lennon's back.
Oh, no, he
The only trouble is,
Yeah, go on.
he got it right.
What, John Lennon or...
Yeah, no, you stayed in bed with a woman all the time.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Did it on your own.
Yeah, I did it on my own. I knew there was something wrong there. Yeah.
Mind you, having said that, if you look at Yoko Ono, I think the only reason he married her is they didn't have to kiss her goodnight.
Oh.
Sorry, John. Oh no, you're not here now. Sorry,
He's up
John.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you went round to find out what it was all about.
Yeah.
And what did you find apart from this mad sodding?
Well, I found it. But I actually knocked on the door, and this mad sod come to the door, and actually
Oh, he said he was in bed.
he was, but he was in bed. He answered the door to me because I knocked on the door because I don't just
Right.
walk into people's houses.
Oh, I see, you're
And
right.
when he come to the door, he knew who I was, which was a bit strange.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's strange, isn't it? What did he say then?
Hello, Frank.
How about that? How did you figure that one out? And he had...
I don't know, and he'd never met me before. Well, he had,
but
he didn't
know.
realise.
He didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Right. And he said, hello, Frank.
Yeah.
And were you quite surprised at that?
I was very surprised at that, but I don't know, we've been friends ever since.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
It's-
what was your impression when you actually saw the room? Because there was this wall, wasn't there, behind it?
Oh yeah, the wall. That was fascinating. That was, and I do recall us redecorating once and
That's right.
adding bits to it.
That's right. And painting it, because I just did it in ink, didn't I? Felt it pens.
Yeah,
And you and Ted and some of the others,
yeah. Alvin,
Alvin,
Keith,
Kaz,
Kaz.
painted the bits in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like, who was it? Well, who was the bloke who had the students doing all the paint? That was Leonardo da Vinci, wasn't it? The Sistine Chapel. He did it and got these students to paint all
Yeah,
the
well,
faces
we did the
and things.
ceiling as well.
Yes!
That was orange with little spots of night time on it.
That's right.
We put all the
Yes,
stars on the ceiling, didn't we?
that's right. Yeah, just dabbed them all
Yeah.
over the place, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then, do you remember we bought the globe from the
And I also
bathroom?
remember falling asleep on your sofa with a brand new pair of desert boots were all the rage in those days.
I wondered if this could come up.
And some bright spark decided they were going to paint the toe caps of my desert boots, my nose and my cheeks orange. And at that time I smoked. And I'd run out of cigarettes. So when I woke up in the morning, everybody nominated me to go up to the local shops to get some cigarettes. Not noticing that I had orange toe caps on my boots, orange cheeks and an orange nose. You might find it funny.
You did.
It
wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you, it was Ted Cook.
Ted Cook did it.
Yes.
He said, if it moves, salute
If
it.
it moves, salute it. If it doesn't, paint it.
So he painted your nose,
Yes.
cheeks, and toe caps.
Yes.
Do you think I should have stopped him then?
No, because I've got my own back on him since then.
Ah, well there you go. Yeah, he's been my friend ever since. That's
so
how he got his rank.
I've got my own back on Ted Cook. Don't you worry about
Oh,
that.
Ted Cook, right.
Yes.
Did you? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ah. I didn't know.
Yes, I helped him move into his new house when he got married,
Right.
and there was a lot of paint about.
No.
Yes. Oh, don't worry. You should know, but you should know me by now. You know. Oh, no, never forget. Never forget. By the way, where is that Tanner?
Oh, yeah. I gave you a Santa from I actually found the 1963
68.
sixpence.
Yeah.
And I did give it to him, see, so he can't say he never got it. So that wasn't a bob a week, it was a sixpence a week before the bob a week come around.
Bob a job.
Anyone remember what a sixpence was? Probably not.
Tanner.
Well, it'd have to be a tanner, yeah. Which is about 2.5p, is it?
Yeah.
About that.
2.5p in today's money.
Only old gits like us would remember that kind of money. And wasn't there also a story about a parked Mini or something
Parked Mini.
that you and Ted lifted up?
No.
What was that
Cross. I
about?
hope that bloke ain't about still, if I tell
He's
that.
probably dead by now, isn't he?
He was probably dead after he got his car out. It was a bubble car.
Bubble car, that's right, not a Mini.
Yeah, and the bloke was a right pain in the arse. And he was all... There was garages behind the houses we lived in, and there was a long driveway up to them. And he kept on parking so close to this driveway that you couldn't get a car out or in. So one day we picked up his bubble car and we parked it right in the driveway. The only trouble is we parked it sideways. So it couldn't actually be driven out.
That was under an arch, wasn't it?
No. It was just, there was a brick wall either
Brick wall on either side, that's right.
Yeah, and instead of putting it in straight so you could drive it up and down the driveway, we put it in sideways so it blocked the driveway up again.
Did he ever get it out?
I don't know, well, he must have done because the driveway's in use now.
It's still been there to this day.
Yeah,
otherwise.
I should imagine it took 2 or 3 people to help him, if he could find any friends to help him.
To do it?
Because he was a miserable sod anyway.
Oh my god.
You know, but
Oh,
the good old days, eh?
good old days, yeah. So, what... well, everybody, this is the famous or infamous Pixie Postmaster, as he was known in the McConkey family, and also known as Tony Finch, aka Tony the First, because there were 7 Tonys and he was the first one. The original value, that is probably millions of Tonys. And also Chief Inspector of the Railway Police, British Transport Police, Anthony Finch. So, but the main thing, I'm talking to him mainly here as the Pixie Postmaster. And how did that come about? How did you come up with the family and how did you become known as the Pixie Postmaster?
Well, it was 1968. And I was a lad of 17 and a half.
A lad of 17 and a half? I was an old lad of 31.
I know. And I was waiting to go in the army. And I took a temporary job with the post office. Which you could in those days.
You could, yeah.
And they gave you an armband.
Right.
And I was delivering mail in Stevenage, various places in Stevenage, whilst I was working there. And I happened to come down a road called the Oundle in Stevenage. And I was happily posting my letters, as you do. And I had my wad of letters in front of me, and I came across one, and I thought, oh, I recognise those little drawings. because it had little drawings on it. And I thought, I recognised them, but I couldn't think where I'd seen them before.
On the envelope?
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, they were addressed 39. Arrived at 39, walked up the park, the front door was open. And on the wall at the back, in the hall, there was a notice which said, if you support world peace, come on in and bring some flowers.
Bring some flowers, right. Okay, yeah. And being a postman, you did
being a
any flowers.
postman, I went next door garden and got some flowers. Which I only borrowed.
You borrowed them?
I borrowed them. I mean, I'm a retired policeman, I can't admit to anything illegal. So I called out, hello, and a voice said, "Watch your mate, come in." And I came in and lo and behold, there was this hippie. Hippie sitting in bed in the lounge.
In bed? Was he ill?
Yeah.
Thank you, pal.
So I said to him, there's a letter for you, and he went, oh, I've been waiting for that. So I said, I recognise the pictures on the front, but I can't remember where I've seen them before. And he said, hang on a minute. So he opened it up, and lo and behold, the letter was from John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Well, knock me down to the top.
There you go. Wishing you well in your venture.
That's right, yeah, which is the Medjugorje family and the Lions, I think, yeah. Because I called it a bedding to get rid of the idea any sexual things. I called it a lion rather than a bedding.
Yeah, of course, you always did that though, didn't you?
What? He's in bed?
No. Change things to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, reinvented things. Yes, I did, yeah.
Like looking for your princess.
Oh yeah, you might have figured it wasn't me. I was that hippie. Yeah, I was looking for my princess at that time, right back in 1968. I was, wasn't I?
You were, yeah.
Very true, and I used to sing a little song called My Little Princess. So, and I presume you noticed the wall that was behind it.
I noticed the wall that was behind you, which was quite an amazing mural, which covered the entire wall. And I've seen pictures of it since.
Yes, there is actually, the far end.
On the horse's head, there was a little Pixie postman.
That's right, yes it was. That was added after the photograph came, that's right. Because Keith Simmons, I think, took that photograph. He took it in two halves, and very cleverly did them so that they could be joined together. That's on the idea of
And here we are. Nearly 50 years later.
Nearly 50 years later, and I actually said to him, well, Dodger is called Dodger Gnome, or Roger. There was Elfie George, I was Pixie Pete, right? And I said, so we all get our own. Janet Brown was Jasmine, I think. So we need a family name. And he said, can I have a family name? So I said, choose one. And you said,
Postmaster.
and that's what he's been ever since. He's Pixie Postmaster. And here we are, me and my little
Hi all
princess.
you guys and the rest of the family.
Worldwide
It's
now.
been a long time.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But we're all still here, thankfully.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah. And I said that we meet up every 20 years and Tony corrected me.
Yes, it's every 15.
It's every 15 years we meet. So we keep in regular touch, you see, don't we? We do.
Absolutely.
And you know, apart from the white whiskers, which I've got too, now, they used to be gingers, didn't they? It's hard to change. And his voice is still the same.
Same clothes and everything.
Same clothes, yeah, I never changed either. Get that man talking to John Lennon, and if he's got a matching one as well. So, there you go. So,
Love and peace, guys.
Love and peace. Bye. Right, now, here we are sitting on a bench, and we both need it because it's been a trek, hasn't it? Yeah,
it's been a trek.
Old Tramp here and me, well, young Tramp to me is, he's a spring chicken of 65, 64? 64. Right, so...
At the end of this year, I'm 63 officially at the moment.
You're 63 officially now, and we get it right. And I'll be 77 on the 30th of June, so we get it all right, though. Okay? Anyway, Tramp, I first met Tramp in 1970. Can't remember the month. Can you, Tramp? Anyway, it was in 1970.
No, it was early.
Yeah, and of course we had the Magic Oak Tree family. It started late in 68. And there was a knock at my door in Stevenage one day, with the home of the Magic Oak Tree family. And I opened the door, and there's an old friend of mine, Peter Crooks, who was the manager of Bowesline House in Stevenage. And accompanying him was Brendan Nesbitt, who was a social worker. Yeah, and I said to them, I said, well, what can I do for you? They said, well, we found a waif and stray, as they put it. They said, and we thought you could put him up. And I said, well, what are you talking about? They said, well, we found this guy on a park bench in the town gardens, and he looked like an old tramp. That's where the name comes in here, you see, as well. They said, and we thought, poor bloke, he's ill, he'd been beaten up and everything. He was in a state, and he was in a state on this park bench, and they covered him up, and he was very nervous of anybody at the time. And anyway, they managed to coax him into Brendan's car, I believe.
Yeah.
And they took him, so I was told by them, to the hospital. The hospital looked at him and said, no, we won't take him. Because they thought he was an old tramp, thought he might have fleas and everything. They wouldn't take him in the hospital, can you believe that? So they looked at each other. Peter said to what's he called? Brendan. Peter and Brendan. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And Brendan said, yeah, Uncle Pete, which is me. So, right, we'll take him to Uncle Pete's. So they brought him to my house, and they said, remember, he's a bit, fragile at the moment. Went out in the car, and there's this guy laying in the back of the car. They'd put blankets round him and everything, shaking, shivering. He was in a right state. And I assured him, I said, look mate, I said, you'll be all right. I said, you're in safe hands, nothing's going to happen to you. We'll try and nurse you back to health. And he, eventually we managed to get him out of the car, got him into the house, and of course there was all the hippie girls, Kaz and Jamie and all he's going it right. All sort of got this like bed ready for him on the couch, and we put him in there, and after that I think he just flaked out, and we actually for a couple of days, and we nursed him back to health. We kept him warm and everything, and now I'll hand you over to the man himself, Tramp, and what the story behind it all was, and what you thought when you woke up, actually, as well.
It was all a blur until I woke up.
Yeah.
And it was just a relief that I wasn't cold, I wasn't feeling ill, I wasn't feeling dejected like I was. And then all of a sudden these bouncing whippy birds came in. I thought I died and gone dead. And they were just all so pleasingly happy. And I knew hippies were happy people, but I didn't realise how happy.
Of course, I was dressed like this, so God knows what he must have.
Pete with his long hair, his mutton chops and his bloody caftan, I think you wore it.
I had a silk, red silk caftan, did.
Yeah, you wore your caftan or something, and he's bouncing around like, wow, like he was on about 40 trips a day. There was no stopping this man, he was like a little dynamo. Wherever you looked, he was there doing something. It was good, but the whole atmosphere of the house was a bit alien to me because I was used to a vicious life. I liked the vicious life. It was my way of life, my choice of way of life. It wasn't a way I was pushed into. And suddenly I've gone from hell to heaven in one jump, and I just couldn't believe it. And then I just turned round, and the normal thing to do when you see a mod is jump up and smash it. And he smashed a great mod walk through the door.
Chris Lockley, I think that was.
That was Chris. And he goes, all right, and just walks through the kitchen or wherever he's going and just go on with life. And I thought, that ain't happening.
This is a mod talking to a rocker. not
What's
only a
going
rocker,
on?
were you, but you were a...
Patched outlaw. Well,
Outlaw.
I was a patched. No, I wasn't an outlaw. I was an outlaw motorcyclist.
Outlaw
one of the
motorcyclist.
cultural bastards.
Yeah.
And this was a mod. And I'm thinking, this doesn't go right. It's not with a grain. What? Hold on, we've got mods, we've got hippies. And my head started going in a bit of a turmoil. What's going on? Then there's skinheads,
Skinheads as well, yeah.
punk
Keith,
rockers, and hippies
White-
turning up
Whitey.
left, right and centre. And I thought, this is just such a different world. It was such a different world. It opened my eyes up to, well, a lot of things, a lot of dark sides of my life, and let a bit of sunshine in, and life changed from that day onwards. It did, for the better, I think. I still live the dream, though.
Of course you did. Yeah.
Still live the dream for the bikes. It wasn't my way of life, and I wasn't, to me at the time, I wasn't going to fit in, but I did.
You did. You become part of the family, yeah.
No, I can't be doing with hanging around with all these hippies and skinheads and all this crap, as I called it. But suddenly I did. And I was in, and it was the family. And I never met a bunch of nicer people in my life.
And everything, mods, rockers, bikers,
anything,
skinheads,
everything.
straights as they called them as
Yes,
well, just ordinary straight
gays.
people, gays, everybody
It was
was there.
everybody, and
They were all
nobody
there,
had-
yeah.
Not a single person had anything nasty to say about anybody.
There were no prejudices, was the
And
truth.
it was very quiet for about 2-3 weeks while I was there. I was itching for a scrap. I was, I mean, it was my way of life. It was what I like to be.
Yeah.
And I thought, nobody's even had the bleeding hump yet. Nobody even got the hump. Oh, it's a strange life.
And then there was the wall, of course.
Oh, Pink Floyd on the wall.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon,
Hippie
wasn't it?
characters, yeah, there was everything
All
on
the way
there.
along the front.
Right
Oh,
along
and
the
then
wall,
there
the
was
big
the
wall.
mural,
The
wasn't
mural, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, the mural.
As you come in the front door, Pink Floyd was on the wall there.
That's right, yes it
And
was.
then the big wall was in the next
And the
room, wasn't it?
wall that I'd started, and
Yeah.
like some of the big painters, Rembrandt and so on, all the members of the family, Kaz and
Just put their little
they
bits
put
and
their
pieces
bits and
on it.
painted it up. I drew it all, and
Yeah.
they painted it up. And Kaz was a bit of an artist herself,
She was
wasn't she?
very,
She put
very,
things
very
in
good. She was.
and poetry, and and there was sort of this bloke, and we're playing everything from Pink Floyd to the Temptations to
Rockabilly, everything.
rockabilly,
really.
everything, and of course he couldn't get his head around it at the beginning because there's mods listening to rocker music, rockers listening to mod music, bikers listening, right, Black Sabbath being played alongside Deep Purple, alongside Pink Floyd, and even Ultimate Spinach, which he never understood. A lot of them didn't, but Nicky likes them, funnily enough, Ultimate Spinach, don't you?
I do, yeah.
And but then you got in touch with the Outlaws, didn't you? And told them
Yeah.
about the family.
Hippies. We're doing the wrong thing, basically. We're doing the wrong thing. We're beating up hippies on a Thursday night, I think it was, for their drugs.
Probably for drugs, yeah.
Well, it was just give us your drugs and you won't get hurt, sort of thing. That's what it was like in Stevenage. Thursday nights, the hippies got it. Saturday nights, the skinheads got it. Any other night, anybody that pissed us off got it. That was it. Bikers were the way, as I thought. But the subcultures around Stevenage were
So many of them, weren't
much vaster than. My eyes were open to how many people were actually in Stevenage and what sort of different cultures, different types of people. And people I wouldn't have even given a time of the day for were suddenly people that I was talking to. And I'm looking at myself standing in a town centre talking to a mod. I'm thinking, my mates ain't going to go thinking much of this. But I didn't care. Because I'd learnt a bit. Life isn't just about one culture. It's about all cultures.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't condone some cultures, and I do condone some others. But I'm pretty liberal in my thoughts.
Well, that's right, because we're all on this earth together, aren't we? We're all
Right,
members
this is
of one
It is.
planet and one family. I mean, And of course, since then, the family has grown through the internet, and I actually have people coming through on Facebook saying, "Can we join the family? Can we become a part?"
And 45 years later, I didn't think these two old cripples would still be walking, let alone bleeding, running around in woods looking for nobody else.
Nobody else. Now we've got to walk all the way back to the car now. I think Nikki's going to bring the car round.
I
was just wondering.
will help where I can, yeah.
But I don't know whether they know where this is.
I'll grab the car and help.
Yeah, we'll go to the crossroads and
Yeah.
there you go, and that's where he was at that time at a
I
crossroads.
was, in, I was
Yes.
in a very dark spot when I turned up at Pete's, but the lights were turned on.
The lights are
That's what
turned
you
on.
say.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have survived my illness if I hadn't turned up round your house.
Now, well, I
Which is
suspect
what I
you
always-
probably had pneumonia or something, or
Well,
start
yeah,
of the
I've
problems
noticed
you've got
it,
now.
Yeah, definitely
Definitely.
troubles. I had.
And as I say, all the hippie girls and me, because I was a trained nurse anyway, and they all sort of no medicine. We didn't give him medicines or anything like that. It was just care, loving care,